Hello, hello?
Hello?
Hello, is anyone out there?
It's
a mom's night out. Liz Joy is the founder and CEO of Marea by Liz Joy, a women's lifestyle brand rooted in heritage craftsmanship, timeless design, and effortless sophistication. With a background in entrepreneurship and digital storytelling, and an innate eye for elevated style, Liz built a devoted community of nearly 500,000 followers through her platform at Elizabeth L. Joy on Instagram before launching Marea in 2022. Under Liz's leadership, Marea has rapidly expanded into a globally recognized brand, now carried by over 150 stockists worldwide, including major luxury retailers. Self-funded and independently grown, Marea was achieved remarkably 8-figure success, with Liz at the helm of creative direction, product vision, and brand storytelling. Guided by the pillars of heritage, family, aspiration, and inspiration, Liz infuses each collection with New England DNA, impeccable craftsmanship, and thoughtful design details meant to be treasured for generations. Her commitment to quality, community, and timeless style continues to shape Marea's evolution as a coveted heirloom quality brand. Hi, Liz. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
The mom's day out. I know. We're mixing it up. Usually we're recording at night. So
Okay.
Agree. Also, you have an amazing background.
yes.
Thank you.
That wallpaper. I love it. I know.
I know. It's very girly, which my husband doesn't love so much, but it's my office, so
Yeah.
It's on brand.
Your space.
love it.
Okay. So let's jump right in.
Hi.
What was the spark that led you to start Pure Joy Home, and how did you turn that idea into a reality?
Okay. So I started Pure Joy Home after my first son was born. So it was in 2013. And prior to that, I had worked in corporate. I was working in HR and hated my life. I hated my job so much. So I always tell people the hatred of the day job is what led to, I think, my success, because I was so desperate to find anything not to go back to work. And I just that motorized me to make Pure Joy Home successful. And at first it wasn't profitable. So I was doing other side things. I had a Etsy shop that I was doing wedding invitations because I knew graphic design. I taught myself. So I was kind of trying to supplement the income that I was making in HR, doing that, and then just writing the blog kind of for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then around 2015, I started noticing other girls that were doing blogging were posting outfits and they were making affiliate income. So I was like, okay, I think I can do that. And I've always had this motto of if she can do it, I can do it. If they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, I love that.
So yeah. And so then I started just posting mirror selfies on Instagram, which was brand new at that time. And just started making a little money doing that, and then just kept going. And I remember when I posted my first couple mirror selfies in my tiny little bedroom, in this tiny little mirror in my closet, all my friends and family were like, "What are you doing? This is so weird. Why are you posting
You're
a picture?"
embarrassing.
Yes. Nobody in my circle knew what this was or understood. And I was like, just trust me. Give me some time doing this and you'll see.
Yeah.
Wait,
And
I love that.
I know.
yeah. So I kind of had to just get over the hurdle of being embarrassed. And then it just started working.
Okay.
That's amazing.
That's such a strong message for our listeners, because even us doing this podcast, when we started it, I feel like people were like, what are they doing? Who do they think they are? And we were like, we believe in what we're doing. And I think it's such a strong message. It could be so easy to give up and get caught up in, what other people think. And also you were a renegade of the influencer world.
Yes, I know. I've been doing it a very long time.
I don't think I realized that. And that's the other message that I think is important. You've been at this for over 13 years. And I think someone might look at your page and think, oh my God, I have to be, why am I not successful overnight? Right. So I think there's a strong message. Good reminder. You said keep going, which I think is so huge. We say that to each other all the time.
A word I love to use is tenacity.
Yes.
And I feel like that's what separates people who are successful and those who aren't, because it takes so long to see a teeny bit of success. And so many people give up before that comes. So I just think that the people who stick it out are the ones that rise to the top.
Yeah.
Keep going. Okay. Kind of in that area. You're from a world where everyone's trying to curate the perfect image online. So how do you stay grounded and avoid falling into the trap of, only showing the perfect moments and the brand that you're trying to promote and be?
Yeah. I think people, especially when you're speaking like in front of my phone and you're speaking to an audience, like you want to meet people where they are. So if you're always just showing up in this like perfectly curated way, with perfect makeup, perfect hair, perfect house, perfect this, perfect that, like soon people are going to get very tired of looking at that, because they're going to think that that's the reality. And then they're going to look at their own life and be like, wait, like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
So I always want to make sure that I'm getting on. Like yesterday I got up and I was covered in coffee. William has the flu. He was all over me all night long. So I like to make sure I show those moments, because everyone goes through that. And sometimes I think that like social media especially can just be so curated, like you're saying, that I never want to make someone feel less than or bad about their current situation. I always try and meet people where they are.
I love that.
Yeah, no. And it is so important to be vulnerable with your audience, like let them see that. And I think it's probably tough to decide, like, how do you go about deciding the struggles that you want people to see? Because then if you just show everything, people are going to be like, oh gosh,
this lady.
Yeah. I know.
It's such a hard balance. Like, how do you decide?
It is a hard balance. I pick and choose what I share online, right? Especially now that my kids are getting older, like I don't necessarily want to show so much of their intimate lives, because it's not their, they don't have the choice at this point. So, it's tricky. I try to inspire, I try to relate, I try to educate. I have these like pillars that I always try, and when I'm putting something out there, I'm like, does this fall under any of those pillars?
I like that.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that too.
Yeah. Because relating, it's where the connection forms too, right? So even though we're behind screens, like I've been DMing with some of these people for 13 years. Like they've followed me through everything. So
wow.
Yeah. So I feel like they've seen me have kids. Like they've seen the good, they've seen the bad, they've seen a lot. And it's crazy that they're still there.
Yes,
that's amazing.
It's a community.
That's really cool.
Like you have an online community.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So
lucky.
Have you ever felt judged or misunderstood by your audience? And how do you navigate and handle that?
Every single day. Every day.
I love that.
Well, first of all, I'm very, like I was saying, I'm very picky about what I put out into the world. I try and stay away from controversial topics, only because you're just inviting up this like enormous discussion, which unless you're willing to sit on your phone and do DMs all day long, like, I don't know. I don't have the headspace for that. I also have other things that I'm trying to work on.
Yeah.
But yesterday I said something like, I hate the freaking flu shot. Like everybody, nobody in my family got the flu shot except for William, and William's had the flu 2 times this year. And like,
oh my God,
that was a very controversial thing.
Oh yeah. I'm sure you got torn apart.
Blowing you up.
Oh, thousands of DMs, like educate yourself on science. It was both ways.
Like, I'm a frustrated mom. Okay.
Right. It was split. Like so many women were like, totally get it. Oh my God, I hate it. This is what happened to me. And then other people were just like tearing me apart. So, I can't let what other people think of me, I can't let it permeate into my body, into my mind. And I've gone through that many times. And I kind of now I just like don't give a shit. Can I swear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We swear all the time. Actually, our moms get mad at us because they're like, we love your podcast, but you swear too much. And we're like, wait,
We've basically cut it out except for when it's needed.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
No
sometimes
swearing.
you need it.
You need it.
I think it's so important that you're like saying that I just don't give a shit, because it took a while for me to get there.
Yeah.
When you put yourself out there.
I'm still working on it every day. So
honestly, same. Like you read some things about you sometimes that people post and it's like awful.
Yeah.
But you also have to consider the source, you know, it's like, who has the time to like write on an online forum about something they don't even know? Like,
I know. That's more about them than you in that case.
Totally.
Yeah. That's something I keep going back to.
Like, picture that. Could you imagine sitting down and
they're in the basement behind a keyboard.
100% parents' basement.
Yep.
Listen, I don't have time to like drink a coffee most days. How am I finding time to sit down on Reddit or something?
Oh,
people are special people.
The dregs of society, I swear to God.
Oh, I know. They're terrible.
Okay. So we always talk about this thing, work-life balance, but as an entrepreneur and a mom, how real is that concept for you? And how do you feel about work-life balance?
So I like to think of balance as just kind of like this always moving thing. You know those like skateboards and there's like a ball in the middle and you have to like balance yourself on it?
Wobble board.
Yes. So like, that's what I picture my life and balance as. Like sometimes I'm like teetering on like the balance, but like sometimes it's like this, sometimes it's like this. And it's just always a moving thing. And I think the most important piece of that is that if it's tilted one way, like that's okay. You need to be giving yourself the attention to wherever you are, whether it's work or kids, because you know that you're eventually going to balance back out. So because it's always this fluid thing, like I think I'm like stuttering a lot. I feel like you have to give yourself grace and know that if you're tilted one way, you'll get back to the balance, or you'll give the other side a little time, you know, like I look at it as family and work. And I'm always kind of just like trying to keep myself upright.
Yeah, no, I think that's important because it's so hard when you have your family, your business, your friends, like there's just so much and you can't give 100% to 100% of the things you're involved in at all times. So there's always like that push and the pull. And it can be a hard like mental struggle. So just how do you keep yourself positive or have that little pep talk of, okay, I can't give 100% to 100% of everybody.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think like I was actually just thinking about it last night because Monday and Tuesday were crazy busy days for me. And I was coming home at like 6:00, really drained. And then as soon as I walk in the door, you know, my family wants me and my attention. And I kind of felt bad because when I got home that night, I was really like, my head was still spinning with work stuff. So I wasn't really able to like get on the floor and fully immerse myself in playing with them or whatever it was. But then on Wednesday, my day was a little bit easier. So I left the office at like 4:30 so I could be there for them and just like focus on them after school. So I think it's just kind of like always a give and take. And it's really a day by day kind of thing. I don't get too hard on myself because I know that I'm building something and it requires a lot of my attention. And I know that when I'm with my kids, like they love me. They love me. They'll love you no matter you think you have to be there for them all the time, but you're also showing them something really amazing by pursuing something you love or, you know, working, and you're giving them inspiration for their future. So I try not to beat myself up over it. And I know that it's always going to be a moving thing and day to day.
Yeah, that's good. And like, then they get to see the balance, and you hope, you know, when they have their own families, they can also see that you were able to balance everything and shift around your time as needed.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. Taking it day by day. Like tomorrow's a new day. You can
take it minute by minute most days.
Yeah.
Can't even go in the day by day yet. And we're in the minute by minute.
Right.
But I think moms, like we put so much pressure on ourselves to do it all. And it's impossible. Like you
No, you
can't.
can't.
You
So
can't.
true.
And women, I feel like, unfortunately, feel shame around having help, which is so asinine to me. It's like,
Oh my God.
how else am I supposed to work and raise a family? Like, I need help.
You can't do it.
I know.
yourself.
We talk
can't.
about this all the time.
I know. We got a lot of flack for this. We were opened up about it when we first started the podcast, and women came at us about it.
Yeah. And I also think we had to remind women, like, we work full time. Like, this podcast is our passion project, but
We're also working. Sorry, if I have a cleaning person, I'd rather have a cleaning person and then on the weekends be able to spend time with my family, my kids and my husband.
I know.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like that's how I'm choosing to spend my money. Okay.
And I find women are the hardest on other women. Like, it's not men being like, you shouldn't have a cleaning lady. The men are like, yeah, I love the cleaning lady. The women are like, how dare she have a cleaning lady? Or how dare she work out and get fit?
How dare you send your child to daycare?
Yeah, how dare you send them to daycare?
What?
It's wild. The women need to like support other women and be like, you're a badass. You're getting help. And I want to be more like you.
Yeah. I don't know where it comes from. I was thinking about it like just yesterday, actually. Like, why are women so hard on other women?
Yeah.
They hate, I feel like, I don't get where it comes from.
It's wild.
Mean Girls.
That's an episode. That's a podcast.
Yeah. We just all really got fired up there.
I know.
Yeah, I know. This is turning into like a vent session.
All right, we'll get this back on track.
Okay. So you are so incredibly brave to work with your husband. What are the biggest challenges that you guys have come across working together?
I think just like being together 24/7 and kind of a lot, you know?
Yeah.
But I would say the biggest challenge is separating like our conversation from talking about work to talking about our kids. Like, what do we still connect over that doesn't include work and family?
Yeah.
And I feel like if we take a trip, we go away for like 2 nights, that's like when we can like really put everything aside and just like focus on each other and focus on having fun. It's the best thing we can do for each other. It's not always easy to get away, but I feel like for us, like removing ourselves from our day to day is super helpful. But yeah, I would say that the challenge is just, there's just so much crossover between what we do. So it's kind of it's hard sometimes when you're out to dinner and there's so much to talk about and between work and family, you know, but I don't know. So I would say that's the kind of the hardest part. But we're also just in that season where like the kids are super demanding, the business is growing. So it is what it is. And
I think
it's like also part of Vermont. Like that's why we go to Vermont on the weekends, because we leave everything behind and we get on the mountain and we ski together and it's a blast.
That's like your sacred time.
Yes.
It almost feels like a boundary that you're setting.
I know. And I can relate to that so much.
I mean, I work with my husband too.
Okay.
So we're both at the same company, but yeah, we work together. We are back to back. It can be intense, but I love what you just said. I think that's good advice for other moms of being able to find topics to relate to outside of work and outside of the kids, because you have to be able to you have to be able to have other topics to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. And like doing things together that are fun, like the skiing, or I don't know, just forcing your, like taking a hike, like forcing yourself out of your like typical environment.
I love that.
Yeah.
Should we switch?
Yeah. Shift down.
Yeah.
To the brand.
Go ahead. Go.
Okay. So we wanted to give some time and attention to your latest project and resort collection for Marea. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Wait, where did that name come from?
So initially when I started the brand, we were resort wear, and so only resort wear. And I was trying to come up with words for like anything that had to do with the beach in English, but nothing like was rolling off the tongue. Nothing like sounded really pretty to me. And Marea means tides in Spanish and Italian, which
that's beautiful.
Yeah,
it is beautiful.
So that's where it came from. Yeah. And I'm part Spanish and part Italian. So I was like, okay.
It's perfect.
That is
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So talk to us about that. How did that come about?
So because I was an influencer for so long and mainly focusing on fashion, essentially my job was working with brands to promote their collections to my audience. So I had done that for so long. Like I was telling you, I started posting mirror selfies in 2015.
I love it.
And I always would think about like, am I going to be, I remember when I think I was 28 when I started, or 29 or something. And I was like, am I going to be like standing in like a fitting room in loft when I'm 40 years old and trying on clothes? I remember saying 40 and now I'm 40. And I was like, I can't just do this forever. Like I have to build something for myself.
Yeah.
So in 2022 is when we launched the brand, but I guess really, I wanted to do it because doing what I was doing was kind of like a hamster wheel. Like the day you pull the plug and you say, I'm done, the day like your income stops.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to build something that could last beyond me. Like something that I could potentially pass down to my kids, could become a family business. If I was hit by a bus, like there would still be something for my family. And I didn't know, what I knew most about was clothing. So that's what I went into.
So
that's
cool.
kind of why. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Being
So
like back. Yeah. Like being able to make sure the hamster wheel thing. I loved that analogy. Like making sure that it can continue even if you're not actually on that wheel. Right.
Exactly. Yes. Because I want to retire soon.
Yeah.
Right?
The dream.
That is the dream.
It's not going to happen, but I tell myself there will be a day when I can retire.
Do you think your kids would continue on the business? You have little fashionistas in your house?
I hope so. I would love that.
Yeah.
My daughter Grace loves coming in. She comes in after school a lot of days. And one of the girls I work with also has a daughter that's in Grace's class. So they come in and they set up office, they play, they work in the store.
So cute.
They do like design presentations to us. Like they're very into it.
That's really cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Little business women.
I know. Something that you said to us when we were prepping for this call, like on our kickoff call, resonated with me so much, right? Like to go from an influencer to a brand. You are a brand. You have your own brand now. You were talking about, you're like, I didn't like go all in and fancy. You were like, I was like sourcing these things by myself. So I don't know. Can you just speak to that a little bit? Because I feel like that story could inspire someone listening. Like you don't have to do these big, like be approached by someone or like go do it in this big way. You started quite small.
Yes. So no one is ever going to knock on your door and be like, here's this amazing business opportunity. Like no one's ever going to do that. And I feel like a lot of people wait for that.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like people also look at doing something like this as like just an insurmountable task. Like they think like, oh, I have to have a business plan. I have to have an office space. I have to have all of this. And like, that's just never going to get there. And so I think people think they give themselves so many roadblocks when you just have to get going. And like all that other stuff will fall into place eventually. I was so scrappy in the beginning, like I have been my entire life about everything really. And I knew nobody else was going to do anything for me. So I always kind of just did stuff myself.
Love that.
Like taking pictures of myself in the mirror, and everyone making fun of me.
I love it.
But I'd be like, look at where I am now.
Yeah.
Laugh about it.
Right. So I was like, I want to do block printed dresses because that was my favorite thing, like always. And I went on Etsy and found these men in India who were selling block printed dresses. And I messaged them and was like, hi, I have an idea for a dress. This is what I want it to look like. And it was like the worst drawing ever. And I was like, I love the prints that you're working with. Can you send me like some swatches of prints? And they did. And I ordered like my first batch was like 75 dresses and there was no tags in them, anything. Started a Shopify. I relied on them for like the sizing and fit and stuff. And that's kind of how it started.
That's
and then
how
like
it
those
started.
sold out. And then I did another dress, and then I did more prints. And then I started hiring people. And now we're a team of 11.
It's
And
incredible.
and we're growing. So yeah, that's how it started.
Congratulations.
I love
Thank
that
you.
story. I just feel like so many people need to hear that. Like, no one's going to save you. You have to show up for yourself and get scrappy.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And it's hard, you know, of course you're always worried too about people. What are people going to think? Like when you're putting yourself out there or you're putting a product out into the world, you're inviting everyone to judge and comment and have opinions. So you kind of just also have to believe so much in what you're doing and so much in yourself that you're willing to work past that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
If that makes
You
sense.
too.
For sure.
With your current collection, what is your most
Mhm.
favorite piece?
Ooh, we have this new dress. It's called the Francesca, and I love it so much because it's like a little bit sexy and sophisticated. And I feel like those two things are sometimes hard to
Ooh.
strike a balance with.
So
Yeah.
hard.
I'm going to be
I love-
ordering
I know.
that.
I know. I'm like, okay. I love the print that you're wearing now. I was
know, me
eyeing that
too.
one.
Thank you. I like
know.
this one too.
Yeah.
It's
This is new.
gorgeous.
The sleeve detail on it is very beautiful.
What is the
Thanks,
name
handsome,
of like
right?
is it a block dress, the classic dresses that you sell? I have 2 of those.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just colors. And I think like before we even did this, I had like ordered it. I think I saw it on Shay McGee, if I'm being honest. And I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I have to have that. And
I love Shay.
such a classic
She's so
dress,
cool.
though. Yeah, she is cool.
Yes, she's been a big supporter of the brand. She's awesome.
I love
I
that.
love that.
Yeah.
We'll have to get her on Mom's Night Out podcast.
Yes.
DMs. We slide into everybody's DMs.
I know.
A lot of
Amazing.
messaging.
It works though.
Love it.
It does.
True.
So
Yeah.
are you able to tell us what's next? I think in our prep call with you, you had shared with us that you're this entrepreneur at heart and you're constantly thinking of the next thing, which we love. And we are also following suit with our own ideas. And so can you share with us a little bit about what's coming up next for you?
Ooh, I can't share. There's one big thing that I can't share quite yet.
Ooh, that's exciting.
I
Stay
know.
tuned.
But just growing the brand, hiring
Yeah.
people, going into hopefully new categories. I think in the next like 5 years, I'd like to do some home stuff, maybe some mommy and me stuff, maybe men's.
Yes.
I don't know.
Cool.
Mommy and me would be
Sky's the limit.
I know. One of our vendors made made Grace a really cute matching dress to me for our vacation. And I was like, oh my God, every girl in America needs this dress. It's so
Yes.
cute.
Yeah.
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 Push that out.
I know.
I
I
could do
know.
that before April vacation.
I know.
I have 2 little
I know.
Models, we will help you.
We have the kids. All right. Should we do some fun questions?
Yeah. We always end the episode with some fun questions.
Yeah. And then at the very end, let's not forget, and then we can tell people where they can find Liz.
Yeah.
So we'll do that at the
Perfect.
very end. Let's not forget. Okay. What is your ideal mom's night out?
Ooh. Sitting around a restaurant that's no less than 10 minutes from my house
Yeah.
Yep.
and starting with a dirty martini.
Yes.
My new thing. I'm like, where have these been all my life?
So
Love
good.
it.
And just having like a great meal with my closest girlfriends and being tucked into bed by 10:30.
Yeah.
I love that.
That sounds
For
fantastic.
you, for me.
I'm seeing a theme. I feel like all the women that we talk to, that's like their ideal mom's night out.
And
So
yeah,
something
in
is
bed,
happening.
in bed early for sure.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. Just simple.
Okay, but if you were to stay out, what's your favorite karaoke go-to song?
Oh my God. Brian and I did like when he was 30. Gosh, we've been married so long. What did we do? Oh, that song Cruise with Gwyneth Paltrow. And
Oh yeah,
Oh,
remember that movie Duet?
Yes.
Stop.
that's a great one.
Yeah. We
That's
did
your
that.
So you did a duet. I love it.
We did a
That's
duet.
cute.
I mean, did anybody get that on video? That's
There was no
That's great.
I don't even know if there were cell phones with video capability back then.
yeah. You're right. You're right.
All the young
thing.
It was like a
trying to,
flip phone.
Good thing.
Somebody brought their Nokia camera out.
Oh,
Wasn't
my
that-
gosh.
But when you think about that, like, wasn't that the best time? I look back to when I was in college and I'm like, if I was filmed when I was in college, like I would hate, it would be over. I would hate to live like that. I would hate to see pictures of the night, the next day. Like nobody had anything. Like we just lived in the moment and it was amazing. It was bliss.
I know.
I feel so bad. I see all these, like, we live in a college town. So like all the girls are just making TikToks and they look like impeccable.
So I know. I was going to say that. I feel like they can't ever turn off anymore.
I know.
That has to be hard.
I know. It's too bad.
Okay. And last but not least, what is the most unusual thing on your bucket list? Jen, these are good.
Yeah.
Jen thought of these.
Oh my gosh. Unusual thing on my bucket list. Oh gosh. I don't know. I like to play it safe.
Okay. Like you're pretty adventurous. Yeah. You were talking about skiing, hiking.
Hiking,
Well, is there like a mountain that you are like, oh, I want to conquer that one day?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm good with
play it safe.
Play it safe.
Let the next guy do that. I don't know. I wish I had maybe like going to India is on my bucket list. I want to see our factories, but I feel like that's not that unusual. I don't know.
Did you keep the same guys that you were working with at the very beginning?
I have one of the guys. Yep.
Wow.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really sweet.
That's so cool.
And I communicate with most of them on WhatsApp.
Wow. That was the best Etsy message that he ever got. And he had no idea.
He had no idea.
One of them came to visit last year, which was so fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Like he stayed in our neighborhood and like we had family dinners with him and it was nice.
That is so nice.
Step over the years.
So much. Okay. Tell the listeners where they can find you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm on Instagram. My personal account is Elizabeth L. Joy. And then our brand it's at Marea the brand. And our website is shopmarea.com.
And honestly, I'm sure most of our listeners already know who you are and wear your dresses.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Aw, so sweet. I feel like Massachusetts, we have like a nice little audience there.
Well,
you definitely do.
Yeah,
a lot of my people that I follow you.
Yeah.
Too.
It's like
Cool.
Cape Cod, Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard.
Oh, I love it. I love Martha's Vineyard so much.
There's nothing better than a New England summer.
I already booked my trip this summer.
Nice.
Jen turned me on to Martha's Vineyard this summer and it was like a family favorite. My kids still talk about it.
Nice.
Same. Where do you guys rent a house or do you stay at a?
We did a hotel and for me, I loved it because everyone's like Nantucket, but Martha's Vineyard is Nantucket without the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want the scene.
Neither do I.
I want the quiet.
Me too.
Yes.
Sorry, Nantucket.
That time with my family, like the biking, packing the lunch for the beach.
Except now that we just told everyone.
Yeah, everyone's going to go.
Now we ruined it.
I know everybody knows about Martha's Vineyard.
No.
Yeah. We stayed last year at the Winnetou. It was awesome.
Yes.
I just booked that for this summer.
That's amazing.
Wait, we're going too.
Oh,
are you going to be there?
Don't share it on here.
Don't share it on the dare.
Let's talk offline.
Yeah.
Thank you, Liz.
This was wonderful.
Thank you so much.
This was lovely.
Thank you guys so much for having me. Such an honor.
Don't hang up, but we're going to end the recording.
Okay.
Cheers.
Bye. Cheers.